Yeah, that doesn't even count my physical games either. 60 hertz, I'll have you know I can run this at 144, thank you very much. New game plus, yeah, just new game me. Oh, I beat on normal, hard, or true west. Beat on normal. Will I like to disable tutorials? No, because I don't remember how to play this. Cause I remember there being some aspects to this game, so... But yeah, like I said, it's just gonna take a fucking while. It is. Abilene, Kansas, 1910. It's the end of the West, even though the West at this point not become non-existent. And just to prove that we're in the West, I'm gonna put my glasses on. Because I can. Oh god, no headset, please. I also need to get some fucking lens cleaner.
Don't I know you, sir? Don't believe so.
I need lens cleaner.
I haven't been here in many years. Name's Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Used to be. Well, what are you doing?
Now I can be slick at shooting people in the face.
Got a little business.
I'm still gonna miss.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack.
I'm Molly. Howdy. Don't mind me, my boobies are just in the way. This corset is really tight, I have no ribs.
True.
Jack, be nice.
A few.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in Bannock, Montana? Is that where you started as a bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Don't believe everything you read in them dime novels, boy. First man I hunted was back when I was riding with
Jesus
Billy
Christ.
the Kid.
You knew Billy the Kid?
Damn right.
Billy the Dick Kid.
Son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off any crooked lawman who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
Boom, boom, boom. Ding, 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 ding. Where's my banjo?
It was about 30 years ago. Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs.
I've been more experienced for collecting nuggets of truth. I don't have any though. I've only just started. Oh, I'm in New Mexico.
With Billy's enemies.
Also, the thing may be a little too high, but whatever.
Let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly
you can hear him talking to me back to myself. I'm gonna turn me light on. What? Oh boy. Nuggets of truth. Don't need them, don't want them. Oh, and they actually have photos of the people. Nice. You can tell that I didn't know about any of this. Oh, the Daltons. Look at that. We even have pictures of them dead, because I'm assuming that's the only photo that exists of these men. Nice.
Funny, haha.
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
missing all the fun.
I knew those two morons would never let me through. I had no choice.
Hell, shoot that sumbitch!
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh, yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast.
They're coming from the rear!
Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out of it. So that's just what I did. As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kids' apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County. Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads.
No.
One of them reached the water tower. Not a bad idea. It would be a turkey shoot from up there. Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed. The right position is very important. Personally, I prefer to be on top.
Oh, you do.
Of course, the whore of the pub.
Was it? Oh, yeah. A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few
Who?
bucks.
I'm putting you down!
Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door!
Back door!
We'll cover you!
Covers!
Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house. I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house.
bastards!
And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear.
To meet Billy the Dickhead.
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm. I'm telling you, Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on coming.
This up all day! I think I got one!
That's when Charlie got hit. "They're catching us in a crossfire," shouted Billy. "Get to the other side."
Where'd he come from?
I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. "They got a Gatling," Billy shouted. "Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention." He directed that order at me.
Those poor
And I
sons of
thought,
bitches
why
are
the
done!
hell do I have to do it? Many would have fled in my fight. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack, he's just joshing with you now.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Please call me Silas. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Right. Making my way past a passel of fallen foes.
Sounds like Garrett.
Making my way downtown.
Hired guns.
Yeah. And just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up. Finally, I had the stable
level up.
within my reach.
I just need two more upgrades, and then I can get max damage or whatever it is.
And that's when I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir. That backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
Three.
You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake. Killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables. Stepped inside, and last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
Oh, 69 enemies killed? Nice. Oh, and I found all 3 nuggets of truth. Seems like it was a bit easy after all. Would you like to switch to hard difficulty? No. I'm not in the business of playing games like this on the hardest difficulty. In some time in the future, maybe, but not right now.
Yeah, after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
And the kid surrendered?
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
Yeah, like I said, I should be able to get this game done tonight. And then tomorrow, I don't know what I'm doing. Again. I might have an idea.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after. He was with John Kinney's gang. They were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Nice keys.
My first order of business was finding a firearm. Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun. I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It could blow a man clear off the street. You Name the damn thing. The kids
okay.
truckers.
Nice.
Guards were everywhere looking for him. Can't let the kid get away.
Anybody see him?
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms. And suddenly, I was a fugitive.
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past you.
But it didn't work out.
But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
Hooligans can go to hell.
I got this!
He's in town somewhere.
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and color.
You're shooting in the street.
I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Even though I'm not using it.
There's children.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We priced them too high, yeah.
Stop laughing at me. Fucking chicken.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free.
One more than I get. What does the upgrade even do?
Decoy and draw attention while he snuck out.
Modified for allowing power green bullets and stopping power. Oh, 30% damage, 25% aim speed, 25% range, 30% recoil. So yeah.
I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy, and all that blame would fall on him. Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun.
Just an additional. Pew!
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said.
No, it's got a pot belly.
You better let me go.
A PNG pot belly.
I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun. So we stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself.
Yeah, right. Cool. And my reaction time was 0.739 seconds. Nice.
Killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down Billy 3 months later, so his escape was all for naught anyway.
No more rip Billy the Kid.
So where'd you go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job with the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
So was the bastard you were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no,
Oh.
This time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man. Over there! There! I did my best to help those poor passengers. Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing.
None.
None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them, or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did.
Follow it.
They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground and whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green and would often blunder into regrettable situations.
No, I mean, I will get this first and foremost just because of damage.
But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge. But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first. Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up. Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim.
No.
Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
Of course.
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this? You're mine! And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven, I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Bat Masterson once told me it was more important.
Oh, I don't even have my fingers on the right keys.
And he would know. And imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables.
How will you shoot me through the fucking rock, you cheating bastard?
Time for the hunted to become the hunted. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right.
I
I was done.
yeah, I wonder what you're worrying at. But I can shoot straight? I know. It's amazing.
No, sir. It was finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Looking good, Spexy, thanks, man. I mean, don't worry, I still can't shoot straight even with these fucking things on. So don't even bother asking me. Maybe if this guy can see now, he might be able to shoot straight. Nope.
Coming for you.
My aim is still terrible. The copper glasses or the blue light ones? No, the actual glasses.
That old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come. But I knew
And hello, Charlotte, how are you?
for me.
Yeah, it's because my left eye... Oh, did I go get tested? Yes.
Kill Ringo.
2 weeks ago, I think it was.
I needed to get that
I've only just gotten them, so... Well, I got them a few days ago. But yeah, like I say, my left eye has astigmatism, so... And partially my right, but not really... anything. But yeah, so... Like I said, I don't need to wear them for like this right now, but I've got them. May as well put them on every now and then.
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe.
Whoa. Okay, so apparently you can just turn that Gatling gun around. You got a black deal. Wait, you got a black deal and might as well shove up your ass now and then. I mean, yeah, exactly. It's the same ideology.
Everyone thought it was
I mean, I did buy this for my boyfriend, but he's not around anymore, so I may as well use it. Well, they might
cowboys
make
made
your
it
eyes
out of
worse
there
without
alive.
them. Well, again, considering I was supposed to wear glasses like 10 years ago, that may have also attributed to this, but whatever.
They just assumed it was one of the
Because they only described these as concentration glasses, which basically, between you and me, means if I need them for like TV and whatever. So not so much stuff like this distance probably, but you know, better than nothing, right?
A few weeks after that dust up at the OK Corral, I was still
Yeah,
after
I'm sure I was
Johnny
17.
Ringo.
Glasses for distance when we started wearing them, you're naturally I was like pissed off.
Tracked him and the
So
cowboys.
basically what you're saying is I shouldn't be wearing them then.
They were loaded for bear.
So what
Because if by wearing them they got worse, that means I shouldn't wear them.
you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Roscoe Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why.
Herb's coming!
Get ready, boys. But first, I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brocious. Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise. And after
Oh my god.
the fight at the OK Corral,
Do I notice a difference with them? Not really.
so they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil.
I want to make the gun somewhat inaccurate for no particular reason. Could you please? Thank you.
Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
Yeah, not really. Like I said, if I just took them off right now, like doing that, there is like no difference. So, like it's one of those scenarios where,
There were killers around every corner. All
like I say, at this distance I probably don't need them.
That's how the Cowboys identified each other. And I was beginning to wish I had one myself. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him. But Doc Holliday might have taken him out.
That Lunger should have kept his nose out of it. They never charged anyone for the murder of Morgan Earp.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot.
The boot.
Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack. Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover. Boy, you are get out of luck.
Did I really miss him? Oh yeah, because they're not hiding behind.
There were carts everywhere, piles of lumber, and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand. Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
I mean, the only problem with the glasses is this fucking headset. Because this headset sits very, very, very fucking tightly on my head, and obviously with these things there, I could only wear them for about an hour before mine starts telling me to piss off.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open. Just gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
But not Ringo Starr.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo.
Honorably killed. Oh, also, who gives a shit about honorably killing murderers and thieves?
I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized it was...
And also, you're killing a man who no one even knows who was murdered. Who cares if you shot him first, you know?
Wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did. I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant, and hunting Plumber looked like a good way to get rich quick. As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits, and put a generous price on his head. Plumber rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape, and that's where I thought I'd find him.
Nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has. As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal. I knew that dynamite.
Oh, also, Daniel, since this may be relevant to you, and I don't know if this is actually true or not, if this is just some bullshit website, because I didn't read into it, but, there may or may not be a potential rumor that Battlefield might go free to play.
Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches.
Which, obviously, to be honest, is pretty much... well, as far as I'm aware, like, the only way that they can get players back again.
There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shippers. Like those that ran with Plumber. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. stable. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand while stealing them blind with the other. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. I thought I was some kind of hero.
Screw your game, I pressed F.
Perimeter, which I had no idea how to breach.
Done.
I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense. It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way.
Oh, of course. Not space, not into.
I got this. Plumber wants that asshole.
Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell. A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion. Reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. Dynamite everywhere.
You know, to be honest, I should have realized that was gonna happen.
All it takes is one tiny spark, and boom.
Should have gathered that was gonna happen. Okay, so this entire is just a death pit.
Take him! Take him!
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad blaster too.
I didn't fire. But sure.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane. It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
God damn it, man.
Instead, I spotted a
Oh, I was gonna say, what?
way into the mine from the opposite side.
I mean, I would like that, but I would need to buy that to buy that. And that's 2 upgrades. But I want to get here because I want to get this upgrade for the rifle.
There was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me. Climbing down that ladder required some caution. But even though I had a younger man's reflexes, I was determined not to give up, however. That Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water.
Hell or high water.
First, I would have to make a choice. Take the elevator or climb the ladder. I wanted to use the element of surprise. Plus, I figured I could use the exercise. I was warmed up already, so what the hell? Plummer was a mad dog killer.
Run.
Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Right, well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Even if it means being stuck up here. Scalawag, I thought it was Scallywag.
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
God damn it! I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out! Shoot! That. They're gonna need a dustpan to big
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Oh, no, that's the truth.
So, did you finally go after that Bob feller?
Well, I heard word he was in Kansas with John Wesley Hardin. So that's where I went.
Where in Kansas?
Abilene. Why do you ask, Ben?
No reason.
Was Hardin as fast as Ringo?
Ringo was fast, but John Wesley was as fast as the devil himself. Hell, he killed his first man at 15. From that day forward, he had a price on his head and wouldn't back down for nobody, not even Wild Bill Hickok himself.
Be quick or be dead. In Kansas.
I dodged death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different. I was there with the intention of finding that bastard Bob and collecting the bounty on John Wesley.
I thought the Texas Rangers got Hardin.
Yeah, that's what they want you to believe. It was cold and a witch's tit and a brass bra that night as I fought my way past his loyal compadres to the very same saloon we're sitting in today. Look around and imagine this place painted in blood. Hardin was waiting for me, and... Wait, I'm jumping the gun here. Let me back up and give you some background on this sumbitch. He deserves that much. Don't you think so, Ben? John Wesley Hardin was a killer. By the end, he confessed to taking the lives of 42 men. He was a bona fide folk hero by then, and had amassed a gang of armed miscreants and other assorted thugs. He and his men set up camp outside of town, and I was hoping Bob was among them.
Shoot that son of a bitch!
I had to spill a lot of blood to find out Hardin wasn't in that camp. He was carousing in town with his closest friend. Hardin's boys apparently didn't want me to reach the bull's head. Some were
Oh my God, dude.
into town to inform their jefe of my unwelcomed presence.
Stop that son of a bitch! Let the boys know we got another law dog.
I wondered if Bob was among them. And I steeled myself for the fight ahead. For as good as I was, deep down I wondered if John Wesley wasn't just a little bit better. Before I could test my mettle against Hardin,
Oh, fireworks. What are we celebrating?
I would first need to dispatch his cadre of hired killers. Most of these degenerates were beyond redemption, but John Wesley might have been a different story. I didn't learn until later that that night was in fact his birthday celebration.
Oh, we are actually celebrating something.
I think I already mentioned that I found Hardin in this very saloon. Suffice it to say, nobody there was happy to see me. In fact, I felt a certain hostility.
Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that.
Stop shooting the fucking railing, man.
Disappointed that neither Bob nor John Wesley were among the dead. But that was short-lived, as a moment later I was facing down the fastest gun in the West.
Which means I need to be faced.
I felt a bolt of adrenaline. Or maybe that was fear. He was well known for his tricks, and I knew I'd need my own if I was ever to defeat him.
Fucking dodged right into it.
You didn't hit me then. I'm sure of it.
Oh, damn it.
was faster than greased lightning. But being inebriated as he was, he didn't count his shots. And now, he was at my mercy.
Why would you need to count your shots?
No, I sent him to prison. Years later, after he was free, some restless Avenger took his life. Shot him in the back at a saloon just like this one. Anybody up for another beer? Ben? Thank you, darling. Yeah, some say revenge is a dish best served cold.
So whatever happened to that Bob guy you were after?
He's behind the bar.
I'd like to hear some of your other adventures. Like, I don't know, do you ever go toe-to-toe with a red man?
Yes, I did, Ben. I remember once I was after this renegade Apache, Grey Wolf. Strangely enough, revenge was also his primary motivation.
I mean, I was about to look at the Steam thing, but the Lunar New Year's the sale, isn't it? And I'm not buying anything. That's now 3 sales that I've not bought anything on.
Put on Grey Wolf's
I'm a
head,
good boy.
and that's how I came to hunt him in the mountains. Mountains so high they tickled the nether regions of heaven.
A long time ago on a mountain far, far away. Nice Star Wars reference.
A Chiricahua Apache medicine man who had led a war party in revenge for a massacre against his people. The U.S. Army had attacked his tribe during his daughter's sacred sunrise ceremony, and the slaughter was unspeakable. I understood his anger, as there's nothing more traumatic than seeing those you love die in a cruel and painful death. Right from the beginning, I couldn't shake the feeling that Grey Wolf was watching my every move. He led a band of young Apache warriors who wanted retribution and were more than willing to die for him. They saw me before I saw them. My mind that maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But now that the shooting had started, there was no backing down. It was rugged country, the winter home of the Chiricahuas, and that's why they had retreated there. I admit to having some regrets about going after them the way I did. But then again, I got a lot of those.
Did you find Grey Wolf?
Not at that moment, but I did find the entrance to their hideout. A deep crevice that led to a deeper cave.
Don't tell me you went in there.
Yeah, but it's not out of bravery so much as pure, angry cussedness.
Oh, piss off.
I had a stubborn streak a mile wide, and I wasn't about to back down.
So it was like pitch black in there?
Actually, it was pretty well lit, as they had torches on the wall.
How big was his cave?
Big as hell, Ben. Chiricahua had hid out there during the Indian Wars. They thought it was was haunted with the ghosts of those murdered by the horse soldiers.
The cave was haunted with dead Indian ghosts?
To be honest, I was more concerned with the live ones than the dead ones.
So much about engines.
A few years back, I was married to 2 Mescalero women.
At the same time?
Yeah, they were sisters. Polygyny is traditional among the Mescalero.
Isn't it polygamy?
Oh, I had to get out of there. Those girls never shut up. Both of them nagging at me all the time. Drove me half crazy. Haven't seen them since. I came upon this flooded grotto, and that's when I saw him. He came to me unarmed and unafraid. His voice echoed in the shadows, and I sensed he meant me no harm.
You carry great darkness in your heart, and if you do not release it, it will claim your soul.
The sound of his voice put some kind of ancient Indian spell on me. As his story unfolded in my mind,
you will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything that you are. The soul would have no rainbow. I have no tears.
He said I was a great warrior, a coyote man, unequaled by any other pale-faced warrior, or something like that.
The snakes will bite shadows of your past until a venom poisons your heart, and an echo of the song of the dead summons the spirits deep from within the mountains.
I didn't quite get what he was saying, but there was definitely
No, he's got
snakes.
2 fucking level ups, nice.
And indeed, his warriors surrounded me and attacked me like hungry wolverines. They couldn't stop me, though, and Grey Wolf wasn't in the mood for idle talk. Couldn't see any way out of this trap. But suddenly, one just appeared. Kind of like a miracle. I felt like I would be lost in that damn cave forever. Finally, I found myself back outside, perched on the edge of the precipice, overlooking a thundering white-water river. To get where I was going required several leaps of faith, but no way in hell I was turning back. I chased after him, determined to make him explain the meaning of all that mumbo-jumbo.
Mumbo-jumbo is right. Are you making this all up as you go?
A few details may be fuzzy, brother, but I am relating exactly what happened. There were dozens of Apache warriors aiming at me from on high.
Dozens?
Well, maybe not dozens, but there was a lot of them.
At least 3 or 4.
Well, more than that a little later. I had a steep climb up creek ahead of me and scrambled up those rocks like a mountain goat. I was determined to locate Grey Wolf and find out exactly what the hell he was trying to tell me. And wouldn't you know it, that crafty son of a bitch led me right into a trap.
What kind of trap?
Well, son, there had to be at least 100 Apaches surrounding me.
100?
God be my witness.
Oh, come on. Who are you kidding?
Hey, I believe you. Come on, tell us how it
Just
ended.
ignore the flashing arm button.
But I'm not gonna drag this out. Where were we?
You were surrounded by 100 Apache warriors.
Well, I didn't take the time to count them exactly, but there were a lot of them. appeared before me that I had not seen before. I followed it as I desperately needed to find out what Grey Wolf was trying to tell me. But it was like that son of a bitch disappeared into thin air. Never did find him. And never did collect my goddamn bounty. Thank you, darling. It's interesting how the truth can sometimes seem might malleable, depending upon your point of view.
Like how those dime novels make you out to be something you're not?
Jack, don't be starting trouble.
No, he's right. They do tend to exaggerate.
Did they exaggerate your part in taking down the Daltons?
Well, I was there in the flesh, boy, so I saw what happened firsthand.
Boom, boom, boom.
Those Daltons were lawmen once, before they all went bad, robbing banks and trains clear across the territory. Until Coffeeville, of course. I was one of the citizens who took up arms that day.
Fighting on the side of right?
I did my best, sir. We all did. It was early morning. One of my friends was a local gunsmith, and he handed out firearms to anybody who'd take one. You see, the Daltons got it in their heads to rob 2 banks at the same time. 2 banks on the same damn street. Well, the locals recognized the Daltons right off. Before they could get away, half the town took up arms to defend their property.
What's the matter?
The brothers paid dearly for their stupidity, but everybody knows they had it coming.
There's more to it than that. I read all about that day, so I know for a fact that it went down very differently. First of all, it was high noon. A posse of U.S. deputy marshals were on the rooftop across the street.
Get ready, boys. They're gonna make a move.
The lawmen had been tracking the Daltons for months, and now they finally had them dead to rights. Among them was a bounty hunter feared by many a lawbreaker. The marshals tried to get the Daltons to surrender.
They'll give up eventually. We just gotta wait for something.
This bounty hunter knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns. So he went in there alone to confront those criminals. One of the marshals shouted, "Where are you going? Are you crazy?"
Hey, where do you think you're going, dumbass? That rifle's mine.
But he paid him no mind. He saw a way to get around to the back of the bank. Then he figured out how to hit the Daltons from a direction they weren't expecting. A moment later, he was climbing up a steep ladder, laughing at danger as he did. It was brave men like him who risked their lives to tame this wild country.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
Men like him, who did what other men couldn't or wouldn't to make this country free.
Is that Silas Green? Son of a bitch!
Jim Boo, Davy Crockett, who died defending
Peter Pan. Elvis Presley. Disneyland.
Over there! That's Silas Greaves. What the hell?
Blam! Blam! He came away His name was Silas Greaves. And when the dust finally settled, he was the last man standing.
Sorry, kid, but that just wasn't the way it happened. It was early evening, not high noon. Daltons blew up a safe, and were all set to hightail it out of there. Those pathetic deputies surrounding the bank were dropping like flies. I had been tracking those jokers for months, waiting for them to do something reckless. Finally, they did. Those stupid bastards decided to rob 2 banks at the same time in the same town where everybody knew.
I can't see.
They still had friends in common.
Ironic. That's me.
Those friends came after me like a pack of wild dogs, tooth and nail. They were coming at me from all directions. I caught sight of the Daltons running with the money and didn't want to lose them. The problem was, they knew the town better than I did. And to top it off, I found myself in the middle of another shootout entirely.
Did the Daltons pull up in somebody's house?
No, it was the Smiths, I believe. They were cousins of the Daltons. And they were shooting at the Browns, who were shooting at the Daltons. Which wasn't any surprise, because those 2 families have been feuding forever. Since the Joneses are related to the Browns, they shot at the Smiths, pissing off the Heimhoffers, whose daughter recently married a Smith. The Dalton boys knew I would never give up. Those Daltons weren't the sharpest knives in the drawer, but they always stood together. They set a trap.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Allow at least 2 of them to escape.
What a bullshit invisible wall.
It was him, the youngest, and he decided to stand his ground and face me down.
I ain't afraid of you, Silas Greaves. This is where it ends for you.
He was determined to protect his brothers. I understood how he felt. Taking me on all by his lonesome wasn't exactly a recipe for a long life.
But Emmett Dalton survived the robbery in Coffeyville. He's the only Dalton who did.
They say he was shot 23 times.
Well, Dwight, who do you think put all those damn holes in him? But I have to admit, that boy had grit.
Award of choice headshot. You damn right it is. God damn right it is.
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
Somewhere in Missouri.
A whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
We'll track them to the ends of the earth.
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws.
I need 2 more
As we
upgrades.
headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks. It was autumn. Maple trees were in full color, red as blood. The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody. Except for some bitches ahead of me wanted to do me harm, so I had to face them alone. I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
Because they did.
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet, but I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends. Had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause. Point being, I was under serious attack. And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen. Luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view, but just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running through the bushes. Of course, I followed them. But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was.
Goddamn.
Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon, Steve? Steve!
Huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
Of course.
Indians? There were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
No, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers.
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet, but I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what.
Okay, there's dynamite. One way.
Bounty hunters!
Stop that, son of a bitch!
Take that asshole out!
But hell, what's more important than family? I'll bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
Bury him in the smoke! Keep shooting. I don't mind. Face me, you coward. What are you gonna do?
Ooh, oh, leave him.
Those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten them. And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Guess it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern wheeler or a side wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from our house, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
I'll take that.
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
No.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
Could have just shot me, but whatever.
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Oh, yeah, but I was in a fight.
Did you hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world?
Talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed big. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway...
Yeah, the
Steve,
Titanic.
they know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
Oh, God.
But getting back to that steamboat, how did you get off it, Mr. Breen?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all.
No, my multiplayer.
Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together. Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. confident that this time the odds were on their side. They got it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the
Honorably
tragic
killed.
death
Nice. I'll take it.
of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
Oh, 5 missions left. Oh.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assume the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers. I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route. But first, I would need to get my ass out of there. I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
What about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights, but I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could. At times, it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Really? Nope, that's not how that works. God damn it.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a hand.
You mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the Wild Bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody!
Well, I get the rifle upgrade. Because this is what shotgun and that. I don't care about them. Now I have a golden rifle.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left. I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail. Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that. Same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America.
America. Mexico.
They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
130 to heal. Oh, email's going.
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together. Kid Curry escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
crazy, ain't it?
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado. Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down. Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts.
Where am I going?
And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children.
Nice.
Though some say it was only 5.
No. 85. Boy gets around. Probably has herpes, hepatitis, gonorrhea,
Kid Curry had bragged to a
chlamydia.
whore how he was going to rob a train heading to the U.S.
And those are just the names of his kids.
And that whore, Fat Sally.
Fuck you, game.
Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Oh, you think?
The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
Oh, good. Okay. Never mind.
So what happened then?
I had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope. I hope you understand how badly my adventure might have ended had I not been as careful as hell.
You'd think.
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually, there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear.
You hear me? This asshole has a dip.
So what do I even want? So I don't really want anything from here. No, never mind. I guess I do want.
So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't going to work. I needed an alternate path forward.
No.
Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it. No. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment, whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge.
Well, it was a touching reunion.
But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass as I was not a young man anymore.
Kill that SUV! Make him bleed!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
This place your Kid Curry asked me! Get out of here, this damn fruitcake!
No good.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
There's some dynamite.
Luckily, I had located some dynamite. I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
Who? Yeah. I thought I could maybe just run up and throw dynamite at him. Tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me personally.
fast as he was. I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him. Those were his last words.
That's 5 minutes away. And now for what? Jesse James. And then the Wild Bunch redo.
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
Well, I found Jim not long after my showdown with Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
Jesse James? The greatest outlaw who ever lived?
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
And I'm gonna take it.
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to find my way forward if I was going to find this Jim.
Now, wait a second. Now, how'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
And yeah, if the train driver knew that was Jesse James, you would go full steam ahead.
Train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So I hopped the same train. The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others. I was hoping to find my man and put a bullet in his head.
Well, he missed him and hit the guy behind him.
I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again, I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Where are you aiming?
Excuse me, then. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show
I
you.
never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
Boy, you gotta be kidding me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the ball.
You seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until late. Anyway.
Oh, fuck me, man.
Forward the best I could.
Of course it was an asshole mailing me just out of camera.
At some point, some bitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!" It's the damn Pinkertons! Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother. So it's no wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't they? Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward. I wondered if I was ever going to find the front of that train, or the bastard I was after. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
I think there's a ladder to my right.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite. Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
One time I can hit him, now this time I can't even remotely.
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here. I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way. And that included Jesse James himself.
What do you have?
sure were a lot of men determined to die that day. It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford. Yeah, Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle.
Big club. You want to do what now?
After my showdown with Jesse, I continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. The perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the Reds and were hiding out from the military found me. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout. Didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then. Another whiskey, Ben. Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the red man. Like that time. Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again.
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men, and the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
Find him. Who? The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben.
What next? I guess fast revolver, not revolver. I don't know what a revolver is.
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Ooh, dear. Oh, dear. Won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hand? taking hold of me. Oh, Dad, won't you spare me over till another year?
Just gonna hide here.
So are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son-bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing. Did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close.
Oh, climbing. Fucking. I was holding A. Screw you, game. I mean, I know I was pressing B, D. Because I was moving right, but I had switched away, but I guess not. Now, why can I seriously not run? Oh, I can run up if I look down, but not if I look up. Because that makes sense.
And Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. We backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me. And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
Right. I finally found Frank holding
I'm assuming shoot him.
And he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite? On your person?
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them,
That
Jack.
son of a bitch! This is gonna hurt! Take him out! Put him down! I want that bastard dead! You a new smile!
Shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Oh, nice.
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I?
I'm done with this damnable outlaw life. Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will. At this point, I just don't give a shit.
I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else.
You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here.
We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill. They had to dispatch the lookouts, but I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again. But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that sumbitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me. Son of a bitch! It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please?
Eventually, it was just me and Reed. I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers. And repay him I did.
Oh, so far honorably killed everyone. Total time 0.712 seconds. Oh, nice.
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame he never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
Back to episode 7.
6 months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying. I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers. Not even an army of demons could have stopped me now.
I guess the game just decided.
Both Johnny Ringo and Jim Reed fell fairly quickly. But the last one, Roscoe Bob Bryant. That son of a bitch had managed to escape my vengeance time and time again. I couldn't even be certain I'd recognize him after all those years. By now, he had to be close to 70.
But for all you know, he could have been dead.
That thought had indeed crossed my mind, as did others. For instance, did my thirst for vengeance turn me into something worse than the man I was after? By this point in my storied career, I had killed more men than Bob Bryant ever had. Nothing could stop me from taking his life. I've been after that killer forever. I rode with Billy the Kid, but that chapter of my story you already know.
Chapter of that fairy tale, you mean?
Suddenly, it was 1910. There I was, an old man roaming a ghost town dead almost 2 decades. But I wasn't about to call it quits. Even though the ghosts of my dead brothers were begging me to end what I started so long ago.
Mr. Graves, are you all right? Would you like some water?
The Wild Bunch knew I was there. They were after a treasure they had hidden before they fled, buried in the grave of dead amigo. I intended to fill that grave with Bob Ryan's corpse.
No.
But like I said, the bandits knew I was onto them. They lured me in and hit me with everything they had.
But you obviously prevailed since you're sitting here telling me.
Actually, in that moment, I did not prevail.
That's annoying. Feels like an arcade shooter. Yeah, it kind of pretty much is.
So I suppose we're talking to a ghost.
Funny you should put it like that, Jack. Because when I woke up...
From the dead?
There was silence all around me.
I mean, it's a pretty decent game, obviously, if you want to play it. I'd recommend it, especially because you could probably get it pretty cheap.
William Bonney, he was shooting at me from a rooftop. Here, there, even over there.
So I am right. You are touched in the head.
Mr. Graves, perhaps we should switch you to coffee?
You see that old Indian again, too?
No, but I did see Billy's killer, Patrick Floyd Garrett. He came at me guns a-blazing. But I knew that old warhorse had died 2 years before. I wondered if maybe I was dead too and confronting the ghosts of my past. Perhaps all my sins were coming back to haunt me and drag me down to perdition. I saw Henry Plummer throw dynamite at me.
Oh, go. Nope, go away. Why is that always the last missions in games that usually suck?
But in the gates of the cemetery, I saw John Wesley Hardin, just like I remembered it. Robert Ollinger appeared with his terrible double-barrel shotgun. But no ghost army was stopping me.
My father-in-law got hit with a fallen branch. He spent the rest of his life talking to dogs.
Newman Hayes Clanton, William Brocious, John Peters Ringo, they all wanted me dead. The Dalton brothers, Robert and Grattan, guardians of the Garden of the Dead. Butch Curry and Harvey Logan, alias Kid Curry, both thirsty for vengeance from the great beyond.
Like
Jesse, Woodson, James, and Jim Reed, each one deader than the next. I thought I would go crazy.
Thought?
Finally, I saw Harry Alonzo Longabaugh.
The Sundance Kid?
Like a general leading his Legion of the Dead.
You told us before that you'd seen him alive.
He was alive.
no, go on.
Then I heard a voice call to me from afar. It was Robert Leroy Parker, a.k.a. Butch Cassidy, coming at me from out of the fog.
Thanks for taking care of that bastard.
Good, the bad, and the dead. Well, nope.
But the kid wasn't quite deceased. Not
Mexican
yet.
shootout.
Takes more than one little bullet to kill the likes of me, partner.
Those two looked like they hadn't seen each other for quite a while. Clearly, they were no longer amigos.
Shit. I was hoping I wouldn't have to kill you.
You won't have to, Butch. I'm killing you first.
I asked him about Bob Bryant, but they were too busy with their own heated conversation.
Let me get this shit straight. You want my money and the love of my life?
You frittered it all away, Butch. Edda's mine. So is that damn money.
I didn't want to shoot anybody until I had an answer to my question, but those boys didn't give me much of a choice.
In a Mexican standoff, use QE to switch your focus to the enemy who is looking at you. Yeah, I don't want to do it dishonorably. I want to try and take everyone out honorably. Not that that really means much, but...
Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid died there in that cemetery not 6 months ago.
And now it's the finale, which I either don't play or... But yeah, I think Bob is... or Ben, Bob, Billy, whatever the hell his name is, who's standing around the bar. I think he's the...
Butch Cassidy and the
guy.
Sundance
Or it's the
Kid
other
were
old
killed
guy.
by the Bolivian army. Everybody knows that.
That's the legend, but it ain't the truth.
So, you never found Bob? There is no Bob. This old sumbitch ain't even Silas Greaves.
Sir, is that true? Have you been pulling our legs this whole time?
Well, not the whole time.
Oh man, I think you've worn out your welcome here.
Maybe you're right, Jack. Maybe it's time to pay. You see, Ben, or should I say Bob, your past always catches up with you.
I was a different man back then, crazy. Drinking, I've changed my ways, I swear to you. If I could turn back the clock,
But you can't, Bob.
Choose my destiny, redemption or revenge. Ooh. Can I actually look through my achievements before I make a choice? Because if there's 2 endings and I don't have one of them, then I'll get the other one. Complete the duel challenge, winning all duels honorably. I'm guessing that means I'm assuming that I'm gonna have to take revenge. I mean, I kind of want to do. I mean, what do I give a shit? This is the end of the game anyway. It doesn't really matter what I choose, but obviously I want revenge just to kill him because I've killed everyone else, but also redemption just because you've been going for so long. It's like, yeah, fuck it. I don't care.
why'd you toy with me like that? Telling those tales, knowing all along. Why not just lay your cards on the table?
Here. I won't have it said that I left you with nothing.
That's how you want it?
Because I want my achievement. To honorably kill everyone.
Holy shit! Molly, move against that wall. Go!
Oh my God! Oh Jesus!
Did you know it was him all along?
Cassidy told me Bob was in Abilene before he died. But I wasn't sure Ben was my man until he revealed how much he knew about Ringo and Reed. The coin, of course. Well, that was the last nail in that particular coffin.
I better go get the sheriff.
You okay, boy? You're looking mighty shook up.
Dwight, maybe you best
Of
go
course I got revenge. Listen.
Young Eisenhower here is leaving for West Point tomorrow. He shouldn't get caught up in something like this.
I think I might head out myself at this juncture. Unless you want to stop me, Jack.
No, sir, Mr. Greaves.
So where you going now? Now that you had your revenge?
Doesn't really matter, does it? As I've sold my soul for it, and will never again walk with those I have lost.
Bum bum bum. And that's the end of Call of Juarez, in also in 2.5 hours. Well, the other one was 3 hours, but whatever. Designed and developed by Techland. Remember when they made half-decent games that weren't like 500 hours long?
Won't you?
Imagine if they said, oh yeah, Call of Juarez Gunslingers, it's a 600-hour experience if you do everything. Is it now? Okay. A two for what? Oh, 2 games today, yeah. Yeah, so I think this is how you do the achievement for horribly killing everyone in your duels. Which I'm not going to do because who cares? Actually, is it just going to win a series of showdowns honorably and quickly to become a trilogy in the Wild West? You have 5 lives to try it. Again, just in case you get shot along the way. So yeah, you have to kill everyone again. And that's how you will get the achievement, but I don't care. So yeah, like I say, it's 2 games done today. So I will mark off Call of Juarez Gunslinger on my list. And then find it on my list. And I've also got Call of Juarez Bound in Blood, but I've got that on physical. So yep, I'm now what, 13 games down? 14 games down. It is still gonna take me for fucking ever to get through this. It is like 14 out of 320 sounds nice. Like, what is that? I mean, once I'm done with 16, that's 5%, I suppose. So once I do 2 more games, I'm 5% the way through. And when you look at it from that perspective, saying you're 5% done, well, I've only got to do that 20 more times. The problem is when it's 14 or 16 out of 320, yeah, all of a sudden it's, oh, that's still a lot of shit to do. Because I mean, like I say, like a lot of my games are games like this. Like if I could pile up a lot of these games, like I say, I could get obviously a lot of games done day after day after day, but yeah, it is just when it comes down to those Lego games and Skyrim and Oblivion and whatever. Those are the games that I'm going to roughly estimate will take me like 2/3 of a year. Because like I say, the Lego games are going to apparently take me 1/3 of a year. Then with all the big RPGs and shit that I've got to play, obviously they're going to take days each. So yeah, you are talking a good, like, technically I suppose with just doing this alone it should take me a year and a quarter maybe. So maybe sometime next year I should have all my PC stuff done, but like I said, that doesn't even attribute to all my bloody console stuff that I've then yet to do after that. So like I say, even after I'm done with this, the Shackle still isn't finished because I'll have... If you think 320 is a lot, I guarantee you my physical stuff is going to be in the region of like close to 400. Maybe past 400, if I had to hazard a guess. Because yeah, like looking at all of them, yeah. I mean, some of the games I'm not going to play, like Castlevania, because like I say, I want to do a Castlevania thing. But I guess if I'm going to be doing my console stuff, I can just play Castlevania when I get to them. But yeah, it is just going to be a ball ache when I get to those, because my PC list of shit games is pretty small. I think it's only a list of like 20 games, 25 games. But my console stuff, there's a hell of a lot more shit games that I've got. And there is like 13. I'm dreading playing 13 just because I know the game's not necessarily great. It's a fairly mediocre one at best. And like, again, like GTA. Like, GTA on PS1 is just going to be a ball ache, and so is Driver. You know, and then obviously every other console that I've got my hands on, like just so many of them are just going to be blue. Again, like Call of Duty on DS, they're not bad games, but you're playing a first-person shooter on the DS, they're not exactly great. Yeah, there's just going to be some games on there that's just going to be absolute ass. I mean, I can't see anything else because the light's shining on them. Or like The Hulk. The old The Hulk game before Ultimate Destruction isn't great. Tony Hawk's I've got to go through. I've also got to do the fucking Getaway, man. Jesus Christ. Matrix. The other one, not Path of Neo, but the other one. I don't remember the name of. Enter the Matrix. You know, there are just going to be so many games. Like Bruce Lee. Fuck me, man. I've got to do Bruce Lee. I hate that game. It's not a bad game, but I swear you have to beat the entire game as if it's like an arcade game where you got to throw in more quarters. But you've got to beat the game in like 3 lives, I think it is. Don't quote me on that. I just remember hating it for that. So my memory may be a little hazy since I've not played it in since I've not played it in a while. But yeah. Yeah, Bruce Lee's just gonna be a pain in the ass. It is. Oh geez, Hulk. Yeah, The Hulk. Like I say, the one before Ultimate Destruction. Yeah, that game is bad. Not bad because it's bad, but bad because it's pretty old and a new sort of generation of games and whatever that we're trying to make, and it's just not great. And then, like I say, Bruce Lee is just gonna kick my ass. Lost Kingdom. I don't hate Lost Kingdom because Lost Kingdom is a weird card game, but it's an RPG. So obviously you're in, if you don't know what it is, you're basically in like small arenas like any other RPG is, and you're sort of walking around and you use cards to attack enemies. I believe once you run out of cards, it's game over. GG, restart, reload your save. That game, if I don't grasp it, is going to just be a pain in the ass, because again, played it many years ago, flung all my cards at the first enemy, missed most of them, didn't realise that I needed to actually hit my targets and thought I could just constantly use them, but you can't. So then I gave up playing it, so even that one, it's not great for sure. What, Hulk? Yeah, well. I mean, what else is there? I mean, there's a lot of good games that I've got. I mean, again, like Chaos Legion. Chaos Legion is just going to be a mediocre game, like, at best. It is. Because as far as I can gather, it's basically, well, yeah, like I say, from what I can gather, is it seems like it's just a rip-off Devil May Cry game. Or a rip-off Devil May Cry 2 game is the vibes that I get from it. So it might not be a terrible game, but it won't necessarily be crap. I mean, fucking Drakengard, man. I mean, Drakengard, I mean, I've beaten the first few levels now in Drakengard, and the game seems to be getting a little bit better. But yeah, even that game's gonna be just ass. Like, the old Splinter Cell games will be fun, but controls-wise, they won't control very well, at least I don't know. But and then, like, Star Wars Obi-Wan, like, I tried playing that last time, but I gave up playing it because, again, the boss fights get really fucking hard really fucking quickly. But then, like I say, there are good games like Star Fox Adventures that I really want to play, or Super Monkey Ball 2. Also Star Wars Rogue Squadron and Rogue Leader, but I need to get the one for Nintendo 64, I'm not going to, but... Or like Mario Party, because they do have campaigns, at least some of them do. Obviously Castlevania I'll look forward to, some Yu-Gi-Oh games, some of them are going to be a little ass, like I think War of the Roses isn't necessarily great. And I've also got a duplicate of Yu-Gi-Oh! Tag Force, one's on PS2, one's on PSP. I might just play the one on PSP. What else is there? I mean, I'm just looking at all the older stuff, because I know all of my old stuff is where all the Ball Ache games are going to be, and the closer I get towards more modern games, I'm going to be a little more lenient, and they're going to get better. But like, pretty much I would argue most of my Wii games are just going to be a pain in the ass to play because they're on the Wii. And then yeah, there's pretty much not really much beyond that really. And then I've got like White Knight Chronicles 2 and shit like that. Like again, my physical collection will just be like my PC collection where, you know, there's going to be a lot of like 2-hour, 3-hour games in that list somewhere. But then I'm going to get to the point where a lot of them, again, more modern games anyway, are just going to be like full-blown 30-hour romps. I mean, I don't know how long White Knight is, but like owning both White Knight games If they are 30-hour ROMs, that's 60 hours for 2 games. So yeah, like some of my games are just gonna be an absolute crap fest. But again, when I do get to my physical list, I don't know if I'm just gonna do them in console order, just because going from, say, NES to, say, a good PS4 game, then to a DS game, then to a PS2 game, then to an Xbox game, I just don't think I'll do it that way. I think I'll just do it console order. I still don't own a Mega Drive, so I might just skip the Mega Drive altogether. Because I've only got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NES games. But yeah, so... Because like I said, if I jump from like NES to PS, like, and all over the place like what I've been doing... Okay, now, how deaf are you? I'm assuming you can hear that. But yeah. Like I said, they're just going to be a ball to get through. But I don't know, I might... I mean, obviously this is, like, way in the future, but, like, when I do eventually get to my console stuff, I'll probably just... I'll maybe try and take an inventory of how many, what I think are bad games, like what I've done with my Steam stuff. And see... Because, like, say if there was only actually 5 games out of all of them, I'd probably just get them out of the way and just do whatever I want, but... Yeah. Anyway, that's a future problem. As for me right now, I'm going. I'll be out. I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I may try and find maybe some more shorter games. I've been kind of thinking of playing Deus Ex Human Revolution, so I might install that as like a back burner game in the event, you know, I do sort of start and I'm just like, nah. Then I've at least got Deus Ex installed. But otherwise I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't. Obviously I've got so much other stuff to do, but yeah, so add to finished, remove from not completed, 2 games done. I mean, I might do Harry Potter. I know the game crashed. I'll look in. I'll try and investigate why it crashed, and I'll give it another go. Because like I said, I do want to get the Lego games kind of done. And it's easy to do stuff like the Lego Harry Potter games just because I've never played them, like ever. So I think playing these, not back to back, but within reason, should be pretty fun within reason. Yeah, in terms of other shit to do, I mean, I guess I should look into Armor and the other games, because if these do have campaigns, getting them out of the way will just make sense. You know, there's 26. And again, like Batman Arkham Origins Blackgate. I mean, I might actually do that tomorrow, just because this game is pretty poop. So obviously getting it done would just make the most sense. What else is there on this list? Oh, Neo. Let's remove that from bad games, since I've beaten it. Again, Spider-Man I've got to replay. Middle-earth I've got to replay. Kingdom Come I have to replay, but again, Injustice is a day, Morrowind, whatever. Dragon's Dogma is also the other one that's just going to kick my ass. Batman for you. Yeah, but it's Arkham Origins Blackgate. So not even you can do the whole no, because it's fucking Arkham Origins Blackgate. It's the bad Batman Arkham game. The really bad Batman Arkham game. Because this was a 3DS Vita game, so... And I do not, even for you who plays Batman Arkham, I would never recommend you ever play this. Even though I've only played it for 3 hours, no. Yeah, like I said, the game's pretty shit. Was you not here when I played this? Well, August 31st, 2020. I would have probably attempted this. No, because... Yeah, no, yeah. This would have been about a year after you turned up. So yeah, you should have, within reason, obviously, at least maybe turned up and watched me play it for 3 hours. It's just I was trying to do the maths whether or not I played it just after Batman Arkham, but I didn't. I played it way after. Yes, like I say, and also look at that Oddworld. No, just for you, Oddworld. But yes, like I say, like these games in here, like Painkiller isn't actually a bad game. I'm just not a fan of the gameplay of Painkiller. So again, I might do that tomorrow just because it's not a bad game and it's hopefully a pretty short one. Or at least a day game anyway. Again, Payday, not a bad game, but just not a game for me. And just to get it over and done with, I'll just play it on easy and just blast through it. Again, same with Payday 2, same with Sniper Elite, just because I know it's an old game and it's kind of meh. Spider-Man, again, I did play it last time, I will just put this shit on easy. Like, just to get through my list of shit, I am going to just put some games on easy. I am, again, like Wasteland. To finish Wasteland, if I can switch this difficulty to easy, if there is a difficulty setting, I will do it. And maybe even cheat to beat, because I cannot for the life of me, or at least back then anyway, I couldn't for the life of me get through the sewers or wherever I was to get to the final boss. Because everything was always off screen, that would shoot rockets at me and kill my entire squad almost instantaneously. It was really annoying. And again, Witcher, I will also play that on easy just because this game is not noob friendly. It's not like this Witcher game does force you to read up on monsters, see what their weaknesses are, maybe see what their strategies are, and plan in advance by making potions or using magic and weapons and whatever to help you defeat the monsters. Which is not a bad thing. I do like it as an idea and an aspect, but again, when you come off of Witcher 3, you kind of just assume you can just kill everything, but you can't, because you can go down like a sack of shit like that. What else? Again, Omicron, just because it's an old game. I know people like this game. Obviously, I know nothing about it. Might be a good game, but obviously until I play it, I don't know. And it's only my bad games because I don't know anything about it. Again, Injustice, not a bad game, but just a fighting game, so whatever. Impossible game, again, not a bad game, but might take me a few tries to beat the later levels. Because I can beat the first 2 levels like that, but then level 2s, 3, and 4. So yeah, I mean, like I say, again, and then Borderlands just because it's Borderlands. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I mean, maybe I should just try and get through this list as quickly as possible. Because the sooner I can get through this list, the better. So I might actually do Painkiller tomorrow. Might install Payday as a backup just in case. Yeah, just in case I need it. Then after that, I don't really know. Yeah, maybe Batman. Or maybe I do Batman tomorrow, have Painkiller installed and do that as the backup. Then do Payday. Then probably Turok. Again, Turok, not a bad game, but it's just an old game. And again, same with XCOM. Maybe I might do XCOM after that. Because, yeah, this game might push my shit in. That might just push my shit in. And then I might look into Wasteland, because also if I've still got my save file, what I might do is tomorrow or something, or in my spare time, I might try and yeah, I might try and see if I can switch the difficulty and just get through that end section, or what cheats there are, because like I just want to get through this. I'm not replaying this game, I'm not. But anyway, without further ado, I'm actually out this time, so yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed, what was it? Call of Juarez and Bionic Commando. That was the one. Until tomorrow, I'll see you then. So have a good night. Ta-ta. See you tomorrow.